it's about time for you to create your own Unity VFX scene. And that's gonna be easier than you think. Don't worry about it. So let's jump right into Unity. And you'll find out that whenever you created your project, this inspector window popped up with the URP empty template information. And you can just remove the README assets. They are not needed at all. You can check the documentation, the forums, and whatnot, but they're not useful at all. So just remove them, and that's good to go. It's gonna just again compile some things. But here's Unity. It looks weird. It looks daunting, but really it's super easy. You can access any of those tabs around here. This is the scene view in which you'll be able to navigate through the scene and see all the elements that you have around. And you do that by pressing the Alt key on the keyboard and then pressing your mouse button, the left mouse button, and you can look around, but there's only a sky with the sun and the ground, so it's not much there to see. So let's create something, right? To do that, we can access the hierarchy here at the left part of the screen, right click, and then you'll be able to create objects. So for example, let's create a 3D object and we can make a cube. And just like that, a cube just spawned. To actually focus on that cube that we've just created, you can press F, the F key on the keyboard, and the F key focuses on the object. That's super useful. I want you to practice this. I want you to just move around the scene by using the Alt key and then the mouse buttons. With the left mouse button, you will be rotating like that, orbiting that object. Then with the right mouse key, you'll be zooming in and out. And if you press the middle mouse button, you'll be panning like that. So you can combine all of those and rotate around the Unity viewport. And you have to get used to this because you're going to be doing this a lot. So please learn how to do this. Do it a lot until it becomes second nature to you. Then press the F key if it like the cube moves off the screen and you can find the cube and you're looking around and you can't find it, you can just select it here in the hierarchy, like the outliner, click it. You can click it twice and it will become like the main focus, or you could also click it and press the F key. So it will bring it to the focus, right? So with the Q key, you're gonna be switching the hand to this like grabbing hand position, and you can grab it like that. And you could also, that's not going to move the cube per se, that's just going to move like the camera around. You can see that the cube is not being moved at all, but that's what the grab key kind of does, like moves the scene like that. Then you can press the W key to move this, this gizmo will appear here, and you have the X-axis, the Y-axis, and the Z-axis to move everything around the scene. And then if you press the E key, you're going to be able to rotate. It's pretty easy, pretty simple, like that. And then with the R key, you're going to be able to scale. All right. So those keys are pretty consistent, like they are one right next to the other, and that's how you can easily learn those. So yeah, that's how you transform stuff around in Unity. If you want to reset the position and rotation and scale of the cube, you can access this transform. At the right side of the screen, you'll find the inspector, which is like the properties of the thing that you have selected. Most likely that's just a context-based menu. So that means that if you don't click anything, nothing will be displayed there. But if you click like the cube, you'll see all the properties that the cube has as a game object, right? The cube is not magically a cube. The cube is a set of data. So the cube in this case is a game object. Game objects are everything that exists in the Unity scene that you can manipulate and change the parameters around to create stuff. In this case, the VFX that we'll be creating are game objects also. They are going to be prefabs. That's another kind of concept that you'll learn. But for now, let's say that everything that exists in the scene is an object, right? The camera is an object. The directional light is an object. That we are not seeing those because we need to just click this button here, which is the toggle visibility of all the gizmos. So you can see this is the directional light, which is the sun, and it's pointing towards the direction that this light gizmo is representing. If you rotate it around, you'll see that the sun is also rotating around, which is cool, and the lighting of the scene will change accordingly. which is pretty nice. I want you to practice again, so try moving and rotating the light. If you move it, nothing will happen because it's an infinite light, that's the sun. You can't move the sun, but you can rotate it, which is pretty nice. So then the camera, you can see here, if I double click on the outliner, you'll see that there's a camera with the actual view of the camera. So for you to be able to see the camera, you can access the game view, which is this other tab here. And that's what the camera is actually seeing. So if you want, you can drag and drop this tab here, place it there, and now you'll have the camera view at the same time that you have the scene view. And you would want to adjust this free aspect to be 16:9 aspect, which is like the usual standard aspect ratio for video games. And if you're seeing statistics here and you don't want to see any statistics, you have to open up this window a bit more and select stats. And that's just going to remove that. All right. So now if I move this camera using the W key and bringing it forward to the cube, you'll see that the cube is now way closer. And then I can also rotate the camera around, so it's kind of panning all like crazy. So to reset that, as said, you can access the inspector view, and in the transform component, which is like this set of data that has position, rotation, and scale, you can click those three dots there and set that to reset. So it just reset the position of the camera. Now it's inside the cube. So with the W key, move the camera around and position it right there, for example. Besides using the Alt key and the mouse button to move around the scene key, you can also press the right mouse button and then use the WASD keys on the keyboard to navigate as if it was like a first-person type of game. I'm sure you are really aware of those and how you can move around on those. And by pressing the Q and E keys, you can go up and down vertically, so it's pretty nice. And that's another secondary way to do that. You will have to keep pushing the right mouse button in this case, but yeah, it's nice because it's way better in some cases to use it to see your effects and simulate that you're playing maybe. And that's just another way of seeing around the scene view. So those are the bare basics of how to use Unity and how to move around the Unity engine. And that's the main point of the lesson. Just get your hands dirty and start creating cubes around the scene, moving them, scaling them, rotating them, moving the camera. And I want you to get comfortable with that because you're going to be doing that a lot with particle systems and different sets of effects that you'll be creating. So once you're good with that, at least practice for 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, it's not that much, and you'll get used to it super quick, I'm sure about that. Then you can proceed to follow with the rest of the course. So yeah, see you in the next lesson.